After Friday prayers, we usually have kind of a talk, and it's gone through many cycles. At the moment, I usually read out something from an extract from Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's books or Malfuzat and so on. But as today is the day of changing our programs, something happened this morning again. And I thought I'd share that with you. Some gentleman came to see me. He rang me this morning. In fact, he rang me last night. He said, can I come and see you? And I said, well, I don't work on Fridays. And he said, no, it can't wait. It's very urgent. So I agreed to see him. And he's from Canada. And their problem is this. His brother came to the UK from Pakistan. And his brother at some stage married a lady who is a Christian. They have one child. And there was a separation. And he had visited his son, and he was on his way back to Slough when he died in a car accident. Now, this person who came to see me, they want to perform his funeral rites according to Islamic law and tradition. His estranged wife, she wants to perform the funeral rites according to Christian tradition. The man's body is in a mortuary, in a freezer, and the two families are at loggerheads. They went to a Maulana who appeared to be surprisingly broad-minded about these things. And after a lot of negotiations, it was agreed that first he'll come to the mosque and they'll perform the Muslim funeral rites. And then his body will be taken to the church, at which they will have their ceremony, their funeral. Because I said to the man, I said, look, all we're doing is praying for salvation for this man's soul. And his wife doesn't feel that our prayers will be effective. So she wants to say her own prayers. So let them do it. Of course, the next question is, where is he going to be buried? In a Muslim cemetery? Or in a Christian cemetery? With his feet pointing toward the holy city of Makkah and Kaaba. And despite negotiations and so on and so forth, matters are rapidly getting to a point where this morning they came to me and they said they wanted to apply for an injunction to stop the family. This is the wife and the son is only 3 years old. Stop the wife from burying him in a Christian cemetery. They've been as flexible as they can, and so on and so on. And another interesting thing that transpired was that because the wife had taken the child away, he could only see the child on a Sunday at the time when the wife was taking the son to church. So, basically, a condition of his being able to see his son was that he must attend the church service. which the wife was taking the son to attend. And of course, obviously, what had happened was they didn't say so, but because they didn't know, the brother had come from Canada, he wasn't aware of all the ins and outs. The disagreement and separation arose about which faith is the son going to follow. Is he going to follow his father and be a Muslim? Or is he going to follow his mother and be a Christian? And because the mother and father were at loggerheads, they separated. The point I'm making to you is this. I mean, there are other complications. I don't know why he didn't even will, saying, whatever needs to be done and so on and so forth. But the point I'm trying to make to you is this. That people enter into these marriages without any, or into these relationships, without any regard for what will happen in the future. We had another incident that I know of, that someone in Pakistan, he married a girl from the Qadiani jamaat. And they have a stipulation, if you want to marry someone who's a Qadiani, boy or a girl, join our jamaat. And we're always saying how harsh it is and this and that and so on, etc. But you see the wisdom of these things when something like this happens. He suddenly had a heart attack and he died. And his brothers and his father and everyone, they came. They didn't come unarmed. They came with loaded machine guns, took his body, and of course no mullah in the locality would say his janazah prayers, because he had said, I'm now a Qadiani. He openly said so. So they took him away into wilderness and they buried his body without performing any Muslim rite. There was no ghusl, there was no kafan, there was no janazah. What was the reason? The reason was that they didn't want this woman to take her husband's body to Rabwa for burial. So some people say to me, oh, this only happens in Pakistan. It doesn't just happen in Pakistan. The incident this morning happened in the United Kingdom. And I know of people who are not Muslims or Pakistanis who suffer from exactly the same thing. A British Hindu marries a British Jew. At first everything is fine. But then they have a child. What is the child going to do on Sunday? Is he going to go to the Hindu temple and sing bhajans? Or is he going to go to the synagogue? Whose faith is he going to follow? And what is going to happen again, as I said to the father or to the child? If the child dies, are you going to bury him in accordance with the Jewish tradition and according to their rites? Or are you going to cremate him and wash his ashes down the Thames or the Ganges or whatever? What are you going to do? So although the first flush of love might be great in coming to these relationships, there are practical things that people need to think about, which will arise as the relationship develops, as life goes on. What will happen to your children? What will happen to your estate? What will happen to you when you die? I mean, if I died, I'd hate to be buried in a Sunni cemetery. Why should I be buried in the cemetery of people you abuse my spiritual leader, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. Why should I be next to one? Why should one of them say my funeral prayers? Indeed, I would go so far as to say, why should anyone even attend my funeral prayers? If you hate me so much that in my life I am a heretic to you, and if I say Assalamu alaikum to you, you will send me to prison. When I die, you want to join my funeral prayers. Why? Why this hypocrisy? So when Hazrat Sahib forbade these things, he didn't forbid them, he advised against them. There were practical reasons. It's not that people are non-Muslims. It's not that they are heretics. It's not that, they are not a part of Islam. And in fact, in one place, I was looking for it this morning when this happened, I couldn't find it. He says, the reason that I advise you not to do these things is that later on, they will use this relationship to blackmail you. And this happens. My daughter was married in Pakistan, in Dar es Salaam, and the day before the nikah, some relatives who were not Ahmadis came. And they said, if you hold the nikah there, we can't go there. So I said, fine. And they said, well, if you change the venue, then we'll be able to attend. And I said, you have an invitation. It says where the nikah is taking place. If you can come, come. If you don't want to come, don't come. In Islam, nikah needs, what does it need? One, not even one person to conduct the nikah, the bride and the groom, and 2 witnesses. Why do I need you there? I said to this person, I said, when you arrange your daughter's nikah, did I tell you who was going to conduct it? Did I tell you where to hold it? Did I tell you who to invite? Why are you interfering in my business? But the point goes, what I'm saying is, look at what Hazrat Sahib said. They'll use that relationship with you to blackmail you into doing things with you. So he went off. He didn't come to, he didn't attend the nikah. I didn't care. Otherwise done. But most people give in. Why should Ahmadis, why should Lahori Ahmadis give in on these things about their faith when no one else does? Why? We are the only jamaat in the world that believes in finality of prophethood. Sunnis don't, Qadianis don't. And despite that, they're firm on their faith. We are the only ones who uphold this basic fundamental principle of Islam, and we are always compromising. Why? People don't want to come to people said to me when we didn't have a mosque and an organization, what will happen to you when you die? I said, I don't know, I'll be dead. He said, who will say your funeral prayers? No one will say your funeral prayers. So I said, I don't pray. So what difference does it make to me if no one says my funeral prayers? He says, no one will allow you to be buried in their Muslim cemetery. So I said, look, every local council has a duty to dispose of dead bodies. If I can't be buried anywhere, they will come and take my body away. I'm dead, what does it matter to me? But the thing is, what are these Buzurg, as they are called, as elders, what their advice is based on a lifetime of practical experience. Things that they have gone through. And they want you to avoid the same problems and feel the same pain that they felt. We don't have to follow them. There is no compulsion in religion in Islam. But if we don't, we will suffer. If we do, our lives will be happier. They won't gain anything.